KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I'm your host, Robin Ayers, with you Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on your drive home or at home already. As you can hear, the amazing icon, queen of rock and roll, Anna Mae Bullock, known as to the world as Tina Turner, has died at the age of 83 in Switzerland from a long time illness that she had. She's being mourned all over the world. So many people are celebrating her life. All you see are photos of Miss Tina Turner and memories that people are recalling all over social media. It's a sad day. You know Tina Turner, but she sold over 100 million records worldwide. She's considered one of the best-selling recording artists of all times. She has won 12 Grammys. And she has also been the first black artist and the first black woman to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as the St. Louis Walk of Fame. She was twice inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one with Ike Turner and the other as a solo artist in 2021. She will be deeply, deeply missed. Yes, queen of rock and roll forever. We do want to make mention that as we go on with our show today, feel free to call in if you want to chime in on any subject that we talk about. You could do that by calling 1-800-920-1580. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms at KBLA 1580. You can also join in on the YouTube chat right now, which I see you guys in there already, showing your condolences and love for Miss Tina Turner. And you can do that at YouTube on the KBLA 1580 page as well. We wanted to give you a couple of updates. Sadly, we actually just received the news as well that famous jazz musician Bill Lee, he's the father of Spike Lee. He has also passed away today at the age of 94. 94. He has done work with his son, Spike Lee, as well. Many of you who are fans and lovers of jazz music may know him as well. But sadly, he lost his life today at 94. So we want to send our condolences there as well. Let's go ahead and get to a couple of, let me just give you a couple of updates before we move on with the show. We found out today that Billboard charting rapper Fetty Wap has been sentenced to 6 years in federal prison for trafficking narcotics across the country. It's something that we just don't understand. When people reach a level of success, we assume they've amassed a certain amount of money. They do things like this that get them into the system, and he will have 6 years of his life in prison behind bars now because he reportedly distributed cocaine and heroin and fentanyl, which we know is one of the most dangerous drugs there is at this time, crack cocaine as well, all across Long Island, New York. So that happened today, which is really, really sad. Another thing that we found out today, I'm sure you've heard this by now, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis has announced that he will be running for president in 2024. Wow. He's running as a Republican, as you know, and many say that he is Trump's biggest competition. So we will keep you updated on that as well. But let's go ahead and get to our topics for today. Andy, let's drop the Raw report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Dietrich Haddon, this is a trip. He just turned 50 years old. Happy birthday to Dietrich Haddon. Actually, another happy birthday. We want to give happy birthday while we were mourning the loss of one legend. We are celebrating the life of another. Happy birthday to Patti LaBelle. Heavy D is his birthday today as well. And there we have a Heavy D song. Thank you so much, Andy. That's actually my jam. But Dietrich Haddon, he turned 50. If you don't know who he is, he's a gospel singer. He's a pastor. He's very highly regarded in the gospel industry as a spiritual thought leader of sorts. He's been around for many, many years, but he is receiving let's just say he's now addressed his critics, okay? His critics who have something to say about how his wife was getting down with him at his birthday party. We'll talk about it and what's to be expected of people in the spiritual realm and why do people come at them like they're not human. Anyway, we'll get to that on the other side. Also, fans of Ja Morant, you know, we've been talking about Ja for a few weeks now. He had written some cryptic messages and fans were concerned about him. But is it as deep as what we think it is, as some people may think it is? We just don't know at this point. We'll get to what he said and what was the outcome of that. And we'll kind of break that down. Also, 2020 American Idol winner. She's 24 years old. Her name is Samantha Diaz. She is returning to singing. She won American Idol just 3 years ago, but she's returning to singing in another kind of way. And fans of hers are shocked by it. Many people are shocked. I want to break it down. What is she doing now after 3 years? 3 years ago, she won American Idol. We'll talk about it on the other side. Of course, we have our amazing entertainment contributor of the day. That word, Kwamel, if you're listening, amazing. We've got her on the other side as well. So we'll get to it on the other side. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at the Raw Report. Keep it live.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Calling all small business owners, entrepreneurs, and startups. Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation is your one-stop shop for the resources and tools you need to take your business to the next level. VSEDC is a community-based nonprofit and CDFI organization recognized for decades of technical and entrepreneurial assistance to South LA small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs for 40 years. VSEDC provides training workshops and your very own business coach, and these services are all free. That's right, these services are free. Business coaches are standing by at their South LA Business Source Center or their Watts Business Source Center. Visit their website at vsedc.org or call them now at 323-752-2335. That's Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation at 323-753-2335.
Attention LA seniors and persons with disabilities. You may qualify for generous discounts on your LADWP bills through the Lifeline program. It's easy to join Lifeline, and your enrollment may qualify you to receive a new energy-efficient refrigerator and valuable rebates up to $225 on room air conditioners through the Cool LA program. So if you're a senior or have a disability, sign up today at ladwp.com/lifeline. That's ladwp.com/lifeline.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get a DeWalt cordless impact driver for just $99. Was $159. That's a savings of $60. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Valid through 8/2. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities.
Great, it's yours. See you then.
Nathan's Tiki-themed bar is swimming in end-of-year party bookings.
Where can I find that many servers? They want headlamps? And I'm gonna need to find a band.
He needs caterers to navigate the rising tide.
No, Mario, not your cousin's cover band.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
I had to drink some water. I actually ate. That's what it was. I ate something and it got caught all up in my throat, but I'm back. I had a drink of water and I'm good. Let's go ahead and get our contributor in here for the day, TK Trinidad. Hello, TK. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
I love saying that every week. It's just, I feel like I got bars. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And obviously, you can't look or scroll or anything like that on social media without seeing the RIPs and the condolences to the icon, Tina Turner. So it's really a sad day in that way, but it's fortunate that we have all of these things that she's left behind. She's truly left a legacy for all of us to enjoy and remember her by. So with that being said, I'm doing well, but just a sad day in that sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I did want to go ahead and jump right in here and talk about Dietrich Haddon. Dietrich Haddon, I feel like he's been out of the mainstream media for quite some time. Even though he's known for doing a lot of gospel songs, he sort of split the difference between gospel music and somewhat of like R&B, similar to Mary Mary. Dietrich Haddon was known to us because he came with the beats. He had great tracks and all of that stuff. And also, he's no stranger to reality television as well. He was on a show called Preachers of LA. Mm-hmm. And he's fantastic. I'm a fan of his. Well, here we are looking at social media, and he has to address these critics of his wife, people who are mad that his wife was dancing up on him, twerking and whining up on him at his 50th celebration, his 50th birthday celebration. He did write a response to this, and let me just go ahead and read that. He posted, "The next level for the church is to learn how to disagree without disrespect. Some approve of me dancing in public with my wife, and others don't, and that's okay. In the words of the Stylistics, people make the world go round. It would be so dope if we could celebrate our differences instead of demonizing everyone that doesn't think like you." And he signed off, "I still love you, and there's nothing you could do about it." I really like the way Dietrich Haddon handled that, the way he addressed them, because it wasn't disrespectful. He didn't get worldly. He didn't, it wasn't any of that. He was still very respectful while making his point. What do you think of the backlash that his wife is receiving after dancing up on him?
Well, it's look, one, it was his wife. So,
Right.
I mean, if there was a whole nother woman, that'd be a whole different story. But it was his wife. It was his 50th birthday. I definitely think there is different versions, like, with Christianity and pretty much with any faith, there's different levels. As far as, people who are very conservative and they follow the Bible to the T, and people who, it's a little bit more interpretive, all the things. And I feel like the newer generation, where there is a blend of, I guess you I'm air quoting, like the world and Christianity. So I think that's really starting to happen now with the newer church. Because I remember, there was an article with Beyonce when, before, I think she was still in Destiny's Child, and they went to church with jeans on, and that was a thing. So I think, it's slowly, and I remember, for me growing up in a Caribbean household, you're supposed to go to church, as if you're, we had suits. I went to church in suits and hats and all the things. And now, you get into flip-flops and a sundress. So
exactly.
Right. So it's just kind of, I think it's just it's a generational thing. But people are entitled to their opinions. And on top of that, if you are a public person, people, and it's based on social media, people can say whatever they want. I think how he handled it was perfect. And just you know what? God bless you. I love you still. But me and my wife are going to do whatever me and my wife are going to do. And if you want to support me as an artist or as a pastor, great. If you don't, you don't have to support. That's the great thing. I think what people forget about social media, like you were talking about Tina Turner and the social media is flooded. I can't take all of that. It really I appreciate her as an artist and all the things, but seeing every single post, it's too much for me. So that's where I'm you know what? I'm not gonna be looking at social media for a while.
Right.
Just,
and you made that choice. You made
Right.
the choice to shut it down. So that's your point. You're saying we have the choice to unfollow. We have the choice to continue scrolling. We have the choice to completely shut social media down so we don't have to watch it, look at it, and be bombarded by all of these messages. So I agree with your point. And what's interesting is this is his wife. Remember, just a few weeks ago, Chance the Rapper caught all this backlash. He was under fire because he was dancing in Jamaica with a woman who was doing the exact same thing, but his wife was not there. So we all had these different varying opinions about what we thought, if it was disrespectful or not, and what would his wife say, and did she know about it? Well, we don't even have these questions with Dietrich Haddon and his wife. We see what the situation is. Both of them were having a great time, seemingly, and they're married, and so I just can't get over that. But you mentioned it. I think you hit the nail on the head by saying it. It really is a generational thing. My thoughts, at least, because we also know that older generation, the super religious generation, more so, not to say that they aren't on social media at all, but it's a shortage of them. It's usually us, the younger generation, who flood social media and give their comments, and they troll, and people wake up to have something negative to say. So it goes to show that no matter what you do, no matter what you wear, it doesn't matter if you're smiling, frowning, wear your hair up, wear your hair down, you're wearing black today, white tomorrow, it doesn't matter. People are going to have an opinion about it. They are going to troll you about it, and that's what's unfortunate. So the fact that we know this is going to be old news tomorrow, it's probably old news already. I really enjoyed that Dietrich Haddon handled himself the way that he did. Marcus Atkins says, people are so hypocritical. I'm sure folks get their groove on away from the church. That's true. And sometimes not with their significant others. Exactly, Chance the Rapper. We just don't see it in video or social media. And that is exactly the point. And my thoughts when I first saw this and when I saw all the backlash was, people act like spiritual leaders, pastors, deacons, bishops, it doesn't matter. Sing gospel singers. Take your pick. If they act like they're not human, and that they're not, that they don't do human nature things, that they're not like everybody else. And so, how do they expect them to act? 50 years old is still very young, by the way. So, how do they expect them to act? I don't know. Why do we place these labels on people like they can't do it? What's up with that, TK?
Yeah, I feel like I go back to like my pastor in college, and I actually had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago. And the reason why I love this man is because he was open and honest about what he did as a teenager and in his 20s. Like, he was very, like, he led us into his falls. And with that, it's like he's human like I am, and therefore there's that connection. And that to me was a whole nother level of respect and reverence. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, I've had other pastors where, you know, we've been saved since we were 3. We met in Bible college, which is, that could happen too. But if you don't see any flaws, then it's gonna be hard for that person to come to the pastor, because 100%. It's like, well, you've lived your life perfectly, and here I'm a sinner. You know, I can't compete. I can't, you know. So it's different generations. Like, you know, the older generations, like, the pastors were this and they were perfect. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't even want to go into all the stories of what, you know, people in higher positions did back in the day that we're now finding out. So, you know, it's just, I think it's definitely just a generational thing. Like, remember when Kirk Franklin came out, people were losing their mind. When Kirk, well, not that, possible.
And do you remember when Kirk Franklin got recorded from his son and he cussed his son out? I'm talking about for filth. Kirk Franklin, and people, their mouths, their jaws were on the floor. They just could not believe that Kirk Franklin, the very, I wouldn't even say he's a gospel singer, because he's definitely crossed over into mainstream as well. But the one who believes in church and preaches the word of God and tries to get people to go that route and become saved and all of those things, they couldn't believe that a man could speak the way that he did, especially to his child. But I'm like, if any of you who have children have ever been pushed to that limit before, you're human and you could go there, you know. So not to get into their business or anything like that, but Kirk Franklin himself, he came out and said, listen, I'm a father, I'm a human being. And so that's sort of one of the issues that I have as well. We paint this perfect picture of people who are spiritual leaders, and we put them on a pedestal, and we some of us even act like they're closer to God than we are. So, you know, if they do anything that's shortcoming, we're like, okay, you've fallen short, and now we've sent you to hell. You know, so
yeah. And the only real difference between spiritual leaders, one of them is a gift. But the other one is, this is what they do, meaning that they spend certain days of the week literally just talking to God and praying for people and all that. This is what they do.
Yeah. So,
you know, it's just kind of like it's also a job, but they're also human. Things happen. And, you know, yes, you know, I think pastors and people alike want to hold themselves to a higher standard, but that also allows them to fail and fall as well. So It's just kind of, you know, at the end of the day, if you have, I think the intention of everything is the thing that speaks for itself.
Definitely.
And so, that's kind of where I all kind of summon. And you kind of like the pastor who got robbed, a couple months ago. Man, you saw those clips. I'm not going to that church. So, so you kind of know.
You do. I also would say, to that same point, never allow someone to take the position of who God is in your life, right?
Exactly.
You are to look at these people. You are to revere, respect. You know, we all go to church. I mean, not everybody, but, you know, many of us go to church and we respect our pastors and we look to them to give us a word every week and all of those things. But I'm never going to allow anybody to come between my relationship with God. And so I'm not going to put you that high up. You literally cannot be placed that high up for me to have to tear you down. I look at you as just a regular human being. You may have some great advice for me. That's wonderful. You may pray for me, and I'll allow that. Certain people I won't even allow to pray for me like that, you know. But at the end of the day, you are just a human being. You know, rest in peace to a really, really good friend of mine and my family's. passed away some years ago, and he was a pastor, but he sort of came from the street life. And one of the things that I respected so much about him is how he treated people. Now, he was a regular guy. You could have regular conversations with him, and those are the people that you tend to open yourself up with. I kind of liken him almost to a Dietrich Haddon, just sort of their vibe, their swag, and being able to just let loose, talk about your things. You won't feel judged when you speak to certain people like that, and you feel like you can lay your heart down in front of them, and so you can get some advice. But you take, like you said, you look at that person's lifestyle as far as how they treat people. Do they walk in the Word of God? How are they outside of church? And I think that's a great indication of if you can trust and follow a person like that, if that makes sense.
I definitely agree. I concur.
Do you listen to Dietrich Haddon's music, by the way, or do you follow him at any point in his career?
You know what? I have a gospel library on my Spotify that I kind of keep, and that's my go-to. And I haven't heard of him, to be completely honest. But I literally just started following him, and after this conversation, I'm going to listen to his music because I'm pretty sure, just based off of the things that I've seen, he's defended Beyonce when she came out with her album. I'm probably gonna love love his music.
You are going to love his music. Andy, is it possible when we come forward at the bottom of the hour, can we find, there's a song by Dietrich Haddon, Mary Mary, Ruben Studdard, and it's produced by Erica Campbell, who's in Mary Mary, her husband, Warren Campbell. It's produced by him. The song is fire, okay? I think that should be the standard for, how you can expect to listen to all of Dietrich Haddon's music. But we're going to go ahead and play that song when we come forward because I want you to hear it. If you hadn't heard of Dietrich Haddon before, any of you, TK, or anyone else for that matter, if you have not heard of Dietrich Haddon, we're going to play that song because I think it's a banger and it's a great introduction to Dietrich.
I love it.
I love it too. So when we come forward, we will get that to you. We're also going to discuss Ja Morant and his messages that were pretty cryptic, and people have different things to say. Does it mean anything or does it not? Just so we know, Ja Morant is fine. He is okay. But we're going to talk about those messages and what it means. We're also going to talk about that 2020 American Idol winner who she's singing. We'll talk about where she's singing. She's still singing. We'll talk about where she's singing on the other side. Right now, we're going to get to news, traffic, and sports. You are inside the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Real Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Rob Report.
More of The Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is accusing House Republicans of manufacturing a crisis over raising the debt limit.
That's what we're seeing currently. That's what we've been dealing with for the past couple of weeks, a manufactured crisis.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus are openly referring to the full faith and credit of the United States as a hostage. Meantime, the paperwork is filed. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is officially running for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. And four-time NBA champ African-American Steph Curry is teaming up with a Kentucky-based distillery to launch his own brand of alcohol. It's called Gentleman's Cut Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. The bourbon is distilled, aged, and bottled at Game Change Distillery. It releases this month. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
In Irvine on the 405 South, right at MacArthur Boulevard, heads up some plywood in the lanes. Also on the 55 northbound at the 405, that earlier stall has been cleared. If you're on the 5 northbound leaving Irvine, you're going to be on and off the brakes from the 133 up to the 91. In Anaheim Hills on the 91 eastbound, right before Ware Canyon, got a hit and run moving its way over to the right shoulder.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Here's something to keep track of while everybody waits on LeBron's decision to retire or come back for a 21st season. Kyrie Irving sat courtside at Crypto.com Arena for Game 3 and 4 against Denver. Irving is an unrestricted free agent and can sign with any team after June 30th. Irving has always wanted to play in LA, either with the Lakers or Clippers. His preference is with the Lakers since he and LeBron are friends and won a title together in Cleveland in 2016. The Lakers will be looking for a third impact player to team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis. If the Lakers show interest in Irving, that could be the motivation LeBron needs to return next season. Irving and LeBron will certainly be talking to sort things out before free agency. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader. The leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Your health is important, so keep yourself and your family covered with Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal renewals will be happening soon, so if you have Medi-Cal, make sure you don't miss any important renewal information. If you've moved in the last 3 years, check and update your mailing address, email address, and phone number. Learn more at keepmedicalcoverage.org. That's keepmedicalcoverage.org. Paid for by the California Department of Healthcare Services.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon for conversations that matter. Every day I talk to influencers, content creators, trendsetters, change makers, and world beaters who are doing their part to make America a nation that will one day be as good as its promise. So be sure to join me, Tavis Smiley, weekdays 9 a.m. to 12 noon as we curate smart conversations for smart people just like you.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Once again, baby dub, my block, deep trick, big room, Mary.
When I to you first, pastor the church, my folks and friends, listen to these words. See God save me from myself when no one else was around, and it was only by His grace, His mercy, His favor, 'cause I know I don't deserve all the love He showed.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Yes, that's why I love him. Love him like I do is the name of the song. Dietrich Haddon, Ruben Studdard. Here's Dietrich right here. Here's Dietrich. Hey, hey. Mary's on this too. All right, that's the jam. That's the jam. Let's get back to it. TK Trinidad, let's get her back in here. I'll rock to that song all day if you left it up to me. Okay, that's a nice song though, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like Thai tribute. Like I love that.
Yeah.
I could see the the older school folks not feeling that, but I like it.
Yeah, it is very nice. He has a bevy that you can choose from, but this is sort of his vibe, and I really, really like it. So we did just finish a conversation regarding Dietrich Haddon and his wife, who was twerking on him at his 50th birthday party, and people had some things to say, but he nicely, very kindly shut all of that down. Let's go ahead and talk about Ja Morant. Again, we're talking about Ja Morant. He was recently suspended again for flashing another gun, a separate incident, another gun inside the car when he was driving with his friend. His silly friend was going live, streaming live again, and so he's suspended. So this is a lot of pressure for Ja Morant. I'm assuming he's a young man. He is a star, certified star. He's rich. He's a father. He's a son. He's all of these things. But, imagine that when you are the talk of the town for a couple of months and everybody has something to say one way or the other. Well, he recently posted on his social media account one picture of he's on the court, and his mother is sitting in the background. He says, "Love you, Ma." The next thing that he posted was "Love you, Pops," with a picture of him hugging his father. The next post was him giving dap. He's on the court giving little handshake dap to his daughter. He says, "You the greatest baby girl. Love you." And then he posts another photo with his back turned, and he says, "Bye." So fans, obviously, you can understand why they'd be concerned reading these messages and looking at him. And then for him to end it by saying bye, that's a bit cryptic. And so obviously people were concerned about him, but we did learn from reports that said the police actually did a welfare check on him, and that ultimately he's fine. But where do you think that's coming from? Is that an attention grab, or is it a little bit more not as deep as what we're thinking? Is it a little bit more it is ambiguous, but you have different people who are saying, listen, it could be not that deep. Maybe he's just taking a break from social media. Maybe he's just sending them off, with a social media post, or maybe he's trying to get attention, implying that he could possibly do something to himself.
Right. I think we've all experienced in this age of social media where we have, maybe not close friends, but just friends. They post cryptic stuff, and it's just like, well, what does this mean? And, some friends I do know, I call them immediately, like, you good? Like, what's going on? Like, or they post something about some random guy doing something stupid. So it's just, I think, and, you as a friend will check. But the fact that he's 23 and, I know he's an adult, but all this pressure from, like, first off being in the league, and then you add social media, and, I can only imagine, because I get exhausted seeing, we were talking about Tina Turner. I get exhausted seeing somebody else's name over and over again in social media. I can only imagine if that's the person receiving it. They're all over the news, and it's not a good thing. It's, talking about something that they did that they might not necessarily be proud of. So, and some people do, I don't necessarily agree with it. Some people do say, I'm taking a social media break. I'm just kind of like, you don't need to let me know you're taking a social media. You could just take
a break.
So, but that's how I move in the world. And I know several people who announce, like, I'm taking a social media break, and that might just be, to people that, their family members who they're no longer, they're not contacting, all the things. So whatever their reason is, that could be it. So maybe he was announcing, like, I'm just taking a social media break, but he did it in such a way where it is kind of, cryptic. But I think back to when I was 23, like, me now talking to 23 me, like I would have to I see what you're trying to do, but maybe this is a better option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really necessarily making the best decision because I hadn't had all those life experiences. So, again, I might be as we've kind of done enough of these. I've been on your show quite a few times. You notice I just give people grace. I'm just giving him this grace that maybe, this is just a lot of pressure on him, and he was just, not so subtly saying, I'm taking a break.
I agree. I'm also the queen of giving grace and the queen of optimism, and I try to look at things from that lens, from an optimistic lens. I agree here with Marcus on YouTube, who says you can't take mental health concerns lightly. He's probably dealing with the backlash of the gun toting on social media and him trying to deal with his mistake. I agree. Mimi also says it's time for Ja Morant to step away from basketball, seek therapy, and focus on his mental health. Well, Shannon Sharp would agree with you, Mimi. He also says, I think many people would agree. This is a big thing. This is a major thing that's happening to him in his life. And so having some time away from social media is not a bad thing. We do wish him well, and seriously, in mental health, probably most of all, we're just wishing him well and that he does well for himself. Basketball will be there. You've made good money. Learn from your mistakes, seek the help that you need, and return when it's a better time. Got to get your thoughts on this, TK. 2020 American Idol winner, 24-year-old Samantha Diaz. She's now 24. She won a $250,000 recording contract with Hollywood Records, and that was just in 2020. It's 2023, and she is now singing on the New York subway trains for money. And people just don't understand it. And it's unfortunate. We do not know the background to this. Why is it that actually she had gone back to singing in 2021. She obviously she spoke up about it and said that she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed to let people know that she needed to go back to singing on the trains for money. There is records that show 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within a few years. That's what this reminds me of. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of it is in our own community where we don't know how to handle money. And so maybe I hope and pray that there's another opportunity for her in her future. I don't know if it'll be quite that. She's really talented. Actually, Andy, don't we have a video? Let's just hear her singing. This was her audition at American Idol. Let's listen.
Rise up, I rise like the day. I rise up, I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. 'Cause all we need is hope, and for that we have the
beautiful voice. What do we need? I mean, she was young. She admitted that she was just probably young and dumb, doesn't know what to do with her money, did not have the guidance around her, the experts around her to help her with her money. But is there something that we can do, especially in our community? Because we don't know what it feels like to have money. And when we get a certain amount like that, $250,000 is a lot, but it's also not a lot at the same time.
Right.
What changes do we need to make? What happens next for us, for our young people especially?
I think there's definitely there has to be an understanding of money, and what she didn't want to talk about, maybe hopefully she does, is, out of that 250, how much of that was taxed? How much of that went to the company? How much already paid for studio time? Like, how much money did she actually have after all of that? Because I'm willing to bet with that contract, they already started charging her. It's like, okay, well, you're going to need studio time. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. And how much money did she have after that in order to live her life? And then now that's where, what you were talking about as far as the community and learning. Okay, well, after all of that, let's just say she ended up with, $100,000 left, right? And so like, okay, well, this is what I need for my living expenses. This is what I could put aside to help grow. This is what I could put aside for just emergency. And on top of that, she was 20. And so, it's just kind of like, it's unfortunate that we tend to learn, like I was saying before, a lot of these lessons through life experiences and not through this is what, we saw our family do. Because oftentimes in the community, we don't talk about money like that. We see them struggle, but they don't necessarily explain to us exactly what's going on so we can learn from their mistakes. So, there's a couple of things that we just don't know. And another thing that we have to take into consideration, American Idol has had 21 seasons. Out of those 21 seasons, as far as the winners, how many of the winners are doing well?
That's true. It's a good point. Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson. That's true. Fantasia. She's doing well.
Did she win or did she come in second? Because I know Jennifer Hudson didn't win.
Right.
Did Fantasia win?
So you're just saying the actual winners and not just people who came from the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
Understood. That's a good point. It's a really good point. I just think there needs to be something attached to shows like this. But that's to anything. I consider anything a lottery per se. American Idol, signing into the NBA or the NFL or anything like that, where you are coming into a certain amount of money all of a sudden. Mostly all of a sudden. You may have had some deals and some sponsorships and things on your trajectory there, but I'm just saying mostly if you're about to come into a lump sum of money or lifestyle that's going to lead to a lump sum of money, then I think there should be something attached like financial advisors and therapy, different things like that, because it's really unfortunate. Marcus Atkins says Fantasia won. So Fantasia is it? You have a few, but things matter. Who's around you actually does matter. Family included, friends included, because they will go and hit you up. There are people who will become leeches saying you got to do for us now. And if you're 20 years old, you may have that sort of survivor's remorse, thinking that you're the one who made it. So you got to make sure all of your people come along. So it's an unfortunate situation. We'll keep our eyes out for her. Her name is Samantha Diaz. Beautiful voice and beautiful woman. I'm hoping that she has another opportunity to change her life. So TK Trinidad, we thank you once again for joining us on the Raw Report. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Thanks for having me, and you can find me everywhere on all the things at TK Trinidad.
On all the things. Yes, we will hopefully talk with you next week as well. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, thanks. Bye.
When we come forward, of course, we have your Who's Got Next and your What Not to Miss on the other side. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA. Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Director of Programming and General Manager Asantewaa Olatunji named Los Angeles Cultural Affairs Commissioner by Mayor Karen Bass. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. She's an attorney and an arts advocate excited about serving in the development of the cultural landscape in LA County. Olatunji is the co-founder of the Pan-African Film Festival, also known as PAF. She began her career as an entertainment lawyer on staff with Paramount Pictures. Her legal career was diverse, and she was on general counsel for the LA Black Employees Association, amongst many other affiliations. Her new role with the city will make her a member of the advisory board responsible for the review and approval of all architecture and artwork on or over city property. Congratulations. I'm Maisha Cairo, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you faced discrimination in Los Angeles? The City of LA Civil Rights Department can help. They investigate private sector discrimination in LA City in commerce, education, employment, and housing. If you're facing discrimination, submit a complaint online for free at laisforeveryone.com. That's laisforeveryone.com or call 213-978-1845.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
I would love for you guys to tell me who you think this next Who's Got Next artist sounds like. I can't place my finger on it. So you guys tell me. His name is October London, and this is called Do What You Do.
Let me talk to you. I wanna say something. Baby, my tears have run dry for you. I can't make those rivers no more. I done gave all I could, still I'm misunderstood. If I could change it all, I would. You don't see me as your man. You treat me like a cheap one-night stand. Girl, I'm tired of the mess, but I wish you the best. Baby, no. Sometimes I wish I could get back those years, but crying you a river is what I won't, dear. Said I won't cry. Not for you, baby. You don't deserve my love. No. Sometimes I wish I could get back those years, but crying you a river is what I won't, dear. Said I won't get, and I won't scream. I'll just help you pack your things.
Wow. I hear y'all loud and clear. Some say Music Soul Child and Tyrese. Okay, all right. I hear that. There's another artist that is neither of the two, but he reminds me of, and it's fine. He actually sounds sort of like himself, which is always a great thing in my opinion when you come out and you have a signature sound. So hopefully this guy will continue to do some amazing things. I like this. It's a very short snippet of a song, but I like it. His name is October London.
Robin.
Yes.
A caller called, didn't want to go on there.
Okay.
But he was excited that we played October London. He said he's familiar with him for the past couple of months or whatnot. So he was just real ecstatic that we decided to play his record.
Oh, well, that's great. That's a great shout out and a great shout out to October London. So thank you, caller. Yes, Fahima, October London sounds like October London. Shout out to him, and hopefully there's more to come. What I don't want you to miss, we were just talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So why not show Prince Harry some love, since he doesn't seem to be receiving a lot of it from people out there, such as Whoopi Goldberg, who doesn't quite believe the story completely that they were in a 2-hour high-speed chase in New York City. We're going to talk about it. I have been listening because, like I told you, I often do audiobooks just because I drive a lot and I don't have a lot of time to just sit and read physical books, which I love, by the way, but I have to listen to it audibly oftentimes. So his book, it's called Spare. It's really good. It's really good. So far, I don't even know where I am in it. I'm in chapter 6 is what it's telling me. The book is pretty good. It talks about his unforgettable stories of love, loss, and healing, of course, and he talks about his wife, obviously, in addition to the documentary that they had that came out on Netflix. Really, really good, by the way. So check it out. It's called Spare. I'm a proponent of listening and to all people, watching all things. I like to learn a little bit about everyone and a little bit about everything. So that's me. That's what I don't want you to miss. And we could talk about it together. Let me know what you like. Well, listen. Fantastic show. Thank you, as always. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate TK Trinidad for calling into the Rob Report. I hear your comments. I hear you. And Fahima's trying to school me over here, letting me know that a recording contract is just that. And it's not a record deal and it's not a check. It is just a contract and anything could go wrong. I do agree with you. But I'll say this, oftentimes, many times, most times, and Zoe Williams will probably know and back me up on this, you do receive an advance, and though it may not have been a $250,000 advance, whatever that money was, or whatever the contract was, we don't know the details of it, but sadly, she does not have any of it, or most of it, I'll say, anymore. We are talking about Samantha Diaz, the winner from 2020 American Idol. But anyway, we wish her well. And more opportunities to come, because if you have a gift like that, like she does, you go ahead and you use your gift, and your gift will bring you before great men. That's what the Bible says. And when that happens, you never know what could happen from there. It's on Spotify. I think she's talking about this song, October London. I'm not sure. Anyway, you guys check him out. Check me out tomorrow. We are back again on the Raw Report for another great show. Truly appreciate it. Rest in peace to the icon, the legend, Tina Turner. And remember, today and every day forward, to be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is set to nominate African-American General Charles Quentin Brown Jr. to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Brown is